In this part of the training series, I'm going to be showing you how to create awesome looking thumbnails for your YouTube videos. Now, what's really special about this method that I'll be sharing with you today for free is that these thumbnails are going to get awesomely high click-through rates. And if you remember when you've gone through the previous parts of this training series, click-through rate is one of the two most important factors for getting your videos ranked really high in the search results and getting YouTube to recommend your videos on the YouTube homepage to millions of users who are interested in the topic of your videos. Also, when you create these thumbnails, they're only going to take a few minutes, if that to do, and we're going to be using 100% free methods to create these thumbnails as well, so it won't cost you anything whatsoever. So with that said, here's how to create eye-catching thumbnails with insanely high click-through rates in minutes using free methods. I'll see you there. Now, before I show you how to create awesome looking thumbnails that gets lots of clicks, the first thing that we need to do is to find out what your market responds to. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean by that? Just create awesome thumbnails and get awesome results. But the fact of the matter is, different markets respond differently to different thumbnails. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So for example, if you've done your keyword research like I've shown you previously earlier on in this training series, what you want to do is to simply look at all the thumbnails that have been used. So as you can see, this is the keyword that I found in the previous part of the training series, which is YouTube SEO tutorial for beginners, and we can see the thumbnails that are here. And you've got to remember that thumbnails that get lots and lots of clicks, YouTube will push them up, because the more clicks that a video gets, that means the more views and the more watch time that video gets, and people will stay longer on the YouTube platform, and that will make YouTube more money as a result. So you're probably thinking, yeah, these thumbnails just look like your average regular thumbnails. But if we go into a completely different market, you're going to see the thumbnails radically change. So if we go into the Peppa Pig market, we can see they are completely different. And once again, YouTube will push the videos with the most clickable thumbnails right to the top. And these are the ones that are performing the best. So if you're going into the Peppa Pig market, you want to create these kind of thumbnails. They don't have any text in them whatsoever. Because if we go down here, you can see these are all coming up, and then they start changing a little bit. Now, if we go into another market, you're going to see that they're going to be radically different once again. So if we go into the makeup tips, we can see that they are completely different compared to the previous two markets. And once again, the thumbnails that get the most clicks will float to the top of the search results, because YouTube makes more money by keeping people on the YouTube platform the longest. So what I want you to do, I want you to put in the keyword that you researched in the previous part of this training series, and I want you to look at the thumbnails and try and look for common patterns that people at the top of the search results are using in their thumbnails. So once you've done that, I will see you in the next part of the video. So before I show you how to create awesome looking thumbnails that get really high click-through rates, I thought I'd just share what I'm using right now, and it's working great in the market that I'm operating in. So if you're in a similar market to me, then you can model these and get equally awesome results like I'm getting right now. So as you can see, it's a written based thumbnail, and I always open it up with free training. I always see the word free as the ultimate disarmament word. It always disarms the visitor, the viewer, who comes over and think, oh, he's not going to sell me anything, there's no upselling, it's all free content. So it just totally disarms them when they're coming in. Another thing as well that I see a lot of people making mistakes on is that they don't use contrasting colors. If you look at this thumbnail, you can see I'm using really contrasting colors. So the green really pops out against the black, and this white creamy color pops really well out on the red. So this is really important, and I do see people making the mistake of using colors that blend in very well, and that's the worst thing you can do. Another thing that you need to do is to make sure that you're super concise in your copy. So when you're writing the sales copy, make sure to be as concise as possible, and the reason for that is because the more wordy your message is, the smaller the font will be, and therefore it's going to be harder to read. Because you've got to remember, when you're looking at these thumbnails, they're tiny compared to what I'm showing you right now. So you need to be as concise, so the font can be as big as possible, so it's going to be as easy as possible to read. So I'll show you another one which is using a very similar formula to the one I've just shown you, and once again it's very contrasting. The only problem that I do have with this is that this cream background isn't standing out too well against this background here. However, this nice deep red is popping out really well compared to the cream, and just like the white font here, it's popping out really great against the black background. Now here's a little tip for you that's going to really help you get better click-through rates, and that is you want to arouse curiosity. It's a golden oldie this, but it works really well when done right. So say for example you're learning how to rank your website in Google, and you're going through all the video tutorials on YouTube, and it says here get first page rankings for free doing this. So straight away I'm saying that this method is free, it's free to implement, and it's free to put into action and things like that. So it disarms them and they're thinking, oh well, I won't have to spend any money, it's free training and it's free to implement as well. But this is where the curiosity factor kicks in. I say doing this. So what is this? I didn't say what it is. The only way you're going to know what this thing is by literally clicking on the thumbnail and watching the video. So what I recommend that you do whenever you can is to arouse curiosity. Now another method that you can do is to create controversy. Now this is something that I don't really do in my YouTube video thumbnails. It's because I don't really make that kind of content. I just make video tutorials on marketing and things like that. But if you're in one of those YouTube channels where you're creating drama and controversy, then you want to be doing something like that, because it's going to bring in equally awesome results compared to using curiosity and things like that. Now this one's using a very similar formula to the last two thumbnails, but what I've done here is that I've divided it into two messages. So once again, we've got the contrasting colours, everything's popping out really nice, but down here I broke it into two parts, and the first part is saying what the video is about, and then the second part is the desired outcome, the benefit. What happens when you watch the video and put it into action? And this is working really well. Now, the only problem with this is that, once again, you don't want to get too wordy. You have to be super duper concise. For example, I wanted to put how to make $389.54. but it's made the font too small, and remember that when people normally view these thumbnails, they're a lot more smaller, so you don't want the font too small, otherwise it's too hard to read and then they're not going to read it, and if they're not going to read it, they're not going to click on the thumbnail. And once again, I used the same trick that I did here where it says doing this. You can see per day doing this. So what's this? You don't know. You need to click the video. And then the second part, which I've used a different color because I just wanted to separate it from this part so it looked completely different. And the reason why I've done that is because when you break things down into nice little bite-sized chunks for your viewers, it's more easier to digest the information. So they're more likely to read this because they're thinking, oh, it's only like a small line of writing, they can consume it easy, and then they know that this is a different part of it because it's in a different color. And like I said before, this is all about the desired outcome, and this is working really well. So what I'm using here is I'm basically saying that you're going to get really fast results when you watch this video. So using curiosity and saying that you're going to get fast results works really well. And another thing as well is that when you're specific and using exact numbers, that really helps as well, because if you're too vague and say how to make $200 a day, it sounds like something you've just said on a random thing. But when you turn around and say how to make $389.54, it sounds like you've actually done the math, you've actually implemented it. These are the results I got exactly, and I want to show you how to do it. So whenever possible, always try to use specific numbers because it really looks more genuine and something that you've actually implemented, and those are the results, exact results that you got. Now another one as well, using the same formula as the last one, where I've broke it down, but this time I've put and in there. Now I've tried to make it not stand out compared to the white writing and the yellow writing, because these are the more important. But when people read it, it says get my emergency fast cash formula free, so I'm disarming them with the word free, and it also segues with the word and, make money in 4 days from scratch. So we've got the classic formula of what the video's about and the desired outcome. And like I said, this is working really well. And with the word and, it helps to segue people into reading the second part of this thumbnail as well. And of course, you can see all the contrasting colors, and with it being all about money, I've got a money background, which really helps on a subconscious level, because that's what people want to learn, how to make money online when they watch my videos. So when they see notes and things like that, they might not be consciously aware, but on a subconscious level they are picking up on it, and that's what they want. So they do see it whether they're aware of it or not. In fact, it was very similar to what I used here, but I used a different background, which I'm going to show you how to create these and get all these backgrounds for free in just a minute. And then the final one, once again, I'm using the same formula as the last two that I've shown you, but where it says and, I've put then. So it really helps to push people reading the entire thumbnail. So it says set up your hosting for optimal performance, then how to auto install WordPress with one click. So I've tried to use a color that doesn't push the other two colors out of the way. I want these two, the blue and the red, to stand out the most because they're the ones with the most important message. And if you look here, how to auto install, so I said auto install, that I want to imply that it's super easy. So when something is done automatically, that implies that it's easy to do. And I've said WordPress with one click, which is true. You click it once and it installs it, and that implies that once again it's easy. And I'm using a number, okay? And when you use numbers, like I said about a minute ago, it really helps to show that you know exactly what you're on about, because it looks like you've actually implemented it, you've got the results, and you know exactly what you're on about, rather than just coming out with roundabout numbers. I'll see you in 5 minutes, I'll give you a hand in 10 minutes, I'll be about 20 minutes. When you hear people say these roundabout numbers, you know for a fact it's not going to be 20 minutes. It could be 18 minutes and 27 seconds. It could be 21 minutes and 14 seconds or whatever. So when you use these specific numbers, like I do, it really helps, and it helps your copy to pop out. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to forward you to the next part of the video, and I'm going to show you how to create these type of thumbnails quickly, easily, and more importantly, for free as well. So I'll see you there. So in this part of the training, I'm going to be showing you how to create insanely high clickable thumbnails for your videos in literally minutes, sometimes seconds, using this free online service. Now, this free online service is called Canva.com, and it's absolutely amazing, especially as it's free to use, and it's going to allow you to create really awesome looking thumbnails in minutes that are going to get you lots of clicks. And when you get lots of clicks, like I've said in the previous part of this training series, it's going to really help you get more traffic, push you up higher in the rankings, make your video show more on the homepage and in the suggested video section as well. So what I normally do whenever I'm creating a brand new thumbnail, I tend to use one that I've already created because I've built up quite a library of them already. So say for example I wanted to use this one, what I would do, I would copy this, and then all I would do, I would change the background, the color of the shapes, color of the font, and then I would change the writing to promote and relate to the topic of the video. Now obviously you're not going to be in that position because you haven't created a thumbnail yet, so what you will need to do first of all is to create a free Canva account. So go to Canva, create a free account, and once you've done that, then locate the YouTube thumbnail, give that a click, and this will redirect you to the Canva editor. Now the first thing that we need to do is to get a background. Now you want a background that obviously relates to the topic of your video. Now say for example I'm going to go into the internet marketing niche where I make a lot of videos on, so I'd want something to do with money or making money from home, so computers, people sat at home working on a laptop or something like that. So what I would do, sorry, you need to go to photos, so I'll put one of those kind of keywords which I already have previously, so something like computer, office, research, money, SEO, and they will bring up all those type of images that I can use as a background for my type of videos. Now obviously if you're in the makeup market where you've got a beauty blog and you've got a beauty channel, you would obviously do a search for lipstick, blusher or whatever that kind of market you would do that with, which obviously I'm not in the makeup market, that's why I'm struggling to come up with words for that particular market. So I'll just put in computer for this one, and I would grab one of the free ones, so I like this one, so I would drag it over like so, and then I would drag it all out so it fits the entire dimensions of the thumbnail like so. So there we go, we've got a nice background. Then the second thing that I would do is go to elements, and I would grab the square. So this is going to be my header square here, so I will drag that out like so, and then drag it up there and then I would get another one like so, and this is going to be where the body copy is, the main advertisement for people to plug and click on this thumbnail. So what I would do then, I would go to the text section, and for the header box here I'm going to use this font here. This is the one that I normally use. I'll paste it in there. I like this font, and I would drag that over, and I would delete all these additional ones. I just want the main font, and then I will put in free training, and then I would click on this to center it, drag it up, and then I'll stretch it out. And Canva will come up with lines to help you align everything, so everything's been centered and it looks right, it's not going to be off or anything. So there we go, and I would delete that because I don't want that font there appearing. Now to further enhance it, you can make it bigger by going here, but I quite like the size of it, but I need to fill out the rest of the box. So to do that, what I can do is stretch it out like so, but I probably do need to make it a bit bigger. So I would go to like that. Obviously this is just an example and I'm just showing you how to do it. If I was doing this properly for myself, I'd spend a lot more time doing it. Now obviously you want to make sure that you have contrasting colours, so you've got to have your squares colours contrasting to the font. So grey and black is not a great one to use. So what I would do, I would change the font for this case into something like that. Okay, now it looks a bit glarish, but this is just an example obviously. And then for the second box, what I would do, I would use a different font. Now this is the one that I normally use. Now the reason why I use these type of fonts is because they're extremely easy to read. And what I mean by that is that you want to stay away from the fancy fonts, the ones with loads of curls in the tails and all that. The harder the font is to read, the less likely people are going to read the message on the thumbnail. So make sure that it's really simple and easy to read font, otherwise they're not going to read it as much and you're not going to get as many clicks and you're not going to get that boost in the search results and make your video appear a lot more on the homepage. So what I would do, I would paste this font in, and you don't have to use these type of fonts, just these are the ones that I use, and then I would drag that down, get rid of that, Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then I would put something there, which I'm not going to show you to do because it's quite obvious. And once again, I'd probably have this box a totally different colour. So I would go up here and have a contrasting colour that would make the font stand out so much better. So I could probably have it like that, probably white or something like that. Obviously, you're going to play around with that. So what I want you to do is to create a thumbnail. And once you've created an awesome looking thumbnail that you think is going to get you a lot of clicks, I'll see you in the next part of the video. So this is more of a tip than a how-to guide, but what I want to share with you is something that you can do that will massively boost your click-through rates and get you more views on your YouTube videos, and that is split testing your thumbnails. Now if you don't know what split testing is, it's basically where you create two variations of a thumbnail for one video and you put it in some split testing software and it will tell you which one gets the most clicks. And I've got friends who do this, and like I said, they get double, sometimes triple the amount of traffic compared to their original thumbnail. So it's something that I recommend that you look into and definitely try out for yourself. So how do you do this? Well, like I said, I've never done this, but I do plan to do this in the near future. But the best way to split test thumbnails is using the Chrome extension TubeBuddy. So once you've installed TubeBuddy, there'll be a link down below in the description box if you haven't done so. Once you've installed it onto your Chrome browser, then you just go down and you can run a video A/B test, and that will split test your thumbnails. Like I said, I've never done it before, but my mates who are on YouTube get absolutely awesome results. So if you're looking for a way to boost your click-through rate, then by all means try split testing your thumbnails and you should get really good results. Like I said, everyone I know who does this gets really good results doing this. Anyway, with that said, I'll see you in the next part of the video.